Good.
Alright, so this week we have been working on different kinds of way to do multiplication and division. And so I'm going to start out teaching you a new way to do multiplication that might be easier for some others, and it might not be the way you want to do it. But we're going to try it out either way. So we're going to start out with an easy problem, and we're going to do 12 times 11. Now, in the way that we've been doing it so far, we do 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1. We put the 0 in the second row because we're going to switch over to our tens place. Now we're going to do 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 1 is 1. And we get 132. Now for some people, they don't really prefer doing this. I actually have a more visual approach that I prefer, but it's going to it reminds me of doing Punnett squares in science class. Now if you know what a Punnett square is, we have x and y for our genes and another x and y on this side. And it's going to make a box of 4. Now when you do a Punnett square, you combine the x and the x, the y and the x and the y, and the y and the y. I want to take this and turn it into a math problem. I'm going to turn it into, we're going to just change our variables to a, b, c, and d. Now, I want my 12 to represent a and b, and I want my 11 to represent c and d. This means that my a really represents 10, my b really represents 2, c represents 10, and d represents 1. Now if I were to put this in a square, I would have a, b, c, and d. And so I would have, we're going to change these, 2, 10, 2, 10, and 1. I'm going to put A, B, C, and D. Now, we're going to combine A and C to get 10 times 10, which is 100. Then we're going to go down, and we're going to do 10 times 1, which is 10. 2 times 10 is 20, and 1 times 2 is 2. Now we can do this one of two ways. We can add each box up to get 4 different things, so we get 132. Or we can just add across rows, and we get 100 plus 20 is 120, plus 10 plus 2 is 12, to also get 132. Now, as I see this was an easy problem, we're going to switch to a harder problem. This time, our numbers are going to be 27 times 23. Now, our traditional way, we're going to do 7 times 3 is 21. So we take the 1, carry the 2, we're going to do 2 times 3 is 6, plus our 2 is 8. We're going to cross that 2 out because we have now used it. We're going to switch to the 10 place, so we're going to do that 0 placeholder. We're going to do 2 times 7 is 14. Carry that 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. We now add our rows up. We get 1, we get 12, carry the 1, and we get 6. 621. Now for our Punnett squares, we're going to do, this is A, B, and this is going to be our C, D. We're going to draw that out. And so we get 20 as our A, 7 as our B. We get 20 as our C, and 3 as our D. So now we go through and multiply. We're going to have 2 times 2 is 4, add in those 2 zeros to get 400. Now we have 3 times 20 is 60, 20 times 7 is 140, 3 times 7 is 21. Now you can do this whichever way you prefer. I prefer to add right across the board, and I get 540 plus 81. And then we're going to add those together at 1, 2, carry the 1, 621. It matches up with what we have been doing. Now, many of you are wondering, this only works for the 10s and the 1s. What happens if we have a 3-digit number? The new number I'm going to give you is 352. And we're just going to stick with the 10s in the second one just for this. And we're going to do 27. Now the traditional way, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, and we're going to multiply. We're going to go 2 times 7 is 14, carry that 1. 3 times 5 is 35, plus 1 is 36, carry that 3. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 3 is 24. Add in that 0 because we're switching to the 10s. Now we're going to go 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10, carry that 1. Now we have 3 times 2 is 6, plus that 1 is 7. We've got 4, we've got 10, we've got 5, and 9. Now my Punnett square is going to turn into a rectangle, and I'm going to erase this so that I have a little bit more room, but I'm going to put my answer right up at the top. So we have 352 and 27. Now if you're kind of wondering, we're going to have to change our variables up a little bit. I'm going to make this A, B, and C. And I'm going to make this one D and E. Now my Punnett square is going to have 3 on the top and 2 going across. So my A is no longer a tens place, it's going to be a hundreds. My B is tens and my C is ones. D is in my tens and E will be my ones. So I have 300 here, I have 50 here, and I have 2 here. Here I have 20 and I have a 7. So this one, I'm going to do 2 times 3 is 6, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 zeros to get 6,000. Here I'm going to do 7 times 3 is 21, 2 zeros right there. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 zeros. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 1 zero. 2 times 20 is 40. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to add those straight across. And I'm going to get 6,000 plus 1,000 is 7,000, plus 40 is 7,040. This one is going to be 2,100 plus 350 plus 14. So I've got 4 here, I've got 6 here, I have 4 here and 2 here. So we've got 7040 plus 2464 to get a total of 40. The 1, that's 5, and that's going to be 9. And our 9504 matches what we did earlier. And that is how we have been, this old version is how we were doing mathematics, and then this is just another way to look at it that's a more visual representation.